Hey, Fit Like YouTube, welcome back to another episode of the Black Pearl. Well, I'm finally pleased to announce that the diatoms have completely gone. The sand bed is totally clean. It just looks fantastic, just like being on a Caribbean beach. Really pleased to see it like this. The diatoms was a bit of a pain, but it's just one of those things, you just get to go through it. All the rock, it's looking fantastic. No diatoms, algae, nothing, and it's actually starting to encrust with coralline algae all over it. You can just see little bits of the pink and the purple starting to show. So I think give this another month or so, it'll start to look really good, just like proper live rock does. So yep, tank's looking fantastic. The water's crystal clear, sand bed's perfect. So yep, really pleased. However, there's still a wee problem, and because of the size of this tank, I'm actually getting problems with condensation and everything in my living room, Ken. So I'm going to have to come up with a cover. I was going to put a screen on because I want to keep fish that when I jump out, but it looks like I'm going to have to put a glass lid on it, just to cut down on the condensation and everything that's going into the living room. Right, so here we go. I've just marked a line on the glass that I've got here. I'm going to cut this into two bits. I've got two panes of glass this size, so I'll cut them both in half, and then I'm going to use this to make a cover for the black pearl, because just now with the size of the tank, it's just causing condensation on my living room windows and that. So the last thing I want is to have damp in my house. So hopefully this will eliminate the problem. Right, so I've cut the first pane in half. Very simple. You've seen me cut glass before in the previous episodes, so just screwed a bit of sandpaper on this old bit of wood, and I just use this to sand down all the edges just to make sure that it's safe to handle. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's all the glass been cut, all the edges have been sanded down. I've actually got this black railing stuff. I actually got this when I got the tank. This came with it, but I just stuck it in a box and never used it. I thought, oh, it could be alright, because I had a 5-foot tank before and I always had it open top. Never had any problems with condensation or anything in the living room, but I don't know if it's just because of the size of this tank or what. So looks like they sent it with the tank for a reason, so I'm going to put it to good use. Right, here we go. I've got the glass fitted in place, the first 3 panels anyway. It's looking okay. Sorry about the blue lights, the highlights haven't kicked on yet. But yep, it's not too bad. A wee bit stiff just now, but I'll soon get that sorted out. I'm just kind of getting it roughly into position just now. But the next wee problem is this side here, is I'm actually going to have to cut a corner out of the glass in order to get it to fit, which is a little tricky. But you know what they say, there's no problems, only solutions. So I'm going to have to come up with a solution for here. But other than that, this first 3 panels, they're in position, and really happy with that. This will definitely cut down on the evaporation from the tank, and it will definitely sort out my problem in the living room. I've also cut this little square here. This is actually the corner where I slide my pipe in to drain out the water into the sump. But I've just cut this wee bit of glass just to put in it, because last thing I want is any fish jumping out of there. So I'll be covering this wee hole as well, so the whole lot's going to be covered. Right, so I've measured out the weir, and this is the section that I'm needing to cut out. Now it's pretty much impossible to cut this out with the glass cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the first hole here with this drill bit, and then I'm going to get a bigger drill bit, and I'm going to drill another 2 holes, one there, and then that'll then give me a straight line, and hopefully I'll be able to break off these 2 sides separately. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right, I'm just using a bit of polystyrene, drilled a hole through it with this drill bit, just to use it as a template and try and keep it steady. This first hole is the most important. This is the one that you need to get. I really need to get this bang on. The other 2 holes, it doesn't matter about how accurate they are, and it doesn't matter if they're sliding about the glass, because it's all coming out anyway. But this first hole this is the most important one. So I'm just maintaining a steady speed, and just before the end you just kind of slow down a little bit. Because sometimes you go too fast and you go straight through, the drill bit can snag and it can crack the tank. And like I say, I've got to get this first one spot on. There we go, that's perfect. Right, I'll change the drill bit, get on to the second one. Right, I'm just going to get this this drill bit going. Like I say, this doesn't matter if it's sliding about. I've just got to get it to hold, and then get it drilled. Because all this is coming out anyway. Obviously you wouldn't do this if you were actually drilling your hole for your tank, but since this is just glass, it's all got to come out anyway. It doesn't really matter how neat and tidy it is, as long as it comes out. I should have wore flipping welly boots, my flipping feet are getting soaking. Right, just about there with this one. I think that's about it now. There we go. Right, we'll just adjust this, and then hopefully we'll get this last hole done without flipping breaking the whole panel. Just need to get this lined up. Right, last one. Here we go. It's just getting a wee bit wild. I'll just readjust, try and get a better hold. Here we go, I think that's... Right, we're away now. Just a wee bit more. A bit more in the front, I think. I've got the back, I've just got the top bit to get. There we go. Right, that's it. I'll just take it inside and we'll get this, hopefully this last 2 bits done. Okay, so I'm going to score the lines now with the glass cutter. However, there's no way that this glass is actually going to break along the line, just because there's some bits that are very thin. But I'm going to try and get as much of it to break along the line as possible. Right, so I've got an old piece of glass from an old tank, and it's still got the silicone and everything around all the edges. I'm going to use this to create my straight edge, and the bonus about using this with the silicone is the silicone gives it a nice hold, so it doesn't move when you're trying to cut your line. So this will work really well. Sometimes if you're using a ruler or something, it kind of slides away for you, but using this bit of glass with the silicone on the bottom of it, it just keeps its position nicely. I'll just score this line. Like I say, that thin pointy bit near the top there, I know that's not going to break off, so it's not going to be breaking off in a winner, but hopefully I can get a good bit off. I'm kind of having to go over this a few times, it's not really taken very well. Try and get a nice score. I want this to get as clean a break as possible. The last thing I want is to actually break the whole pane. Right, well that's that side done. I'll just score the other side, and I'll edit it here just to save a bit of time. Right, I've managed to get it looking half decent. The glass, the big bitties broke off no problem. However, the little bits I had to use the pliers and just work my way along and just clip them down to the line. It's worked out okay, but it's resulted in all these like little shards everywhere. But the edge of this glass here is very sharp, and it's really rough looking. So I'm just going to give this a good sand down, and hopefully then it will be nice and smooth and not dangerous. Okay, so I've been working with the sand block on here for a while now, and I've got it lovely and smooth, no sharp edges whatsoever. The whole thing's perfect, like, so it's worked out really well. So what was going to be an impossible cut, I've actually managed to get it into this pane, so this will fit onto that last section in front of the weir. Hopefully it'll be a nice fit. So yep, really happy with that. So I'll just go and get this fitted onto the pearl now. So here we are, the lids are all in place now. What I did was actually cut a little strip of glass, and I've made these little handles and everything just to make the sliding of the lids nice and simple. But this pane that we cut fits perfect. Here's these wee bits of glass that I've cut, so the panes of glass now slide back and forth effortlessly. So really happy with that. Now I think this is going to definitely cut down on the condensation and stuff that I was experiencing in my living room. And like I say, I can get in and about no problem. Plus they're very easy to take out when I need to clean them. The plus points of this new glass cover, it's going to cut down on the evaporation from the tank itself, which is a bonus. Obviously I'm not going to have the condensation on my living room windows, and I'm not going to get damp into my walls and stuff. The other thing is I'll be able to keep whatever fish I want, because nothing's getting out of this tank now. Whatever I put in here is going to stay in here. The other thing is the snails, because there's been a few snails that have been trying to get in and out. But yep, so there's going to be no flipping carpet surfing in this house, no in this tank anyway, so really pleased with it. And we can see Keto and the Duke loving life. So yep, that's the glass lid done. I mean, obviously the one negative would be, again, it might like reduce the light a bit getting down into the tank, but I didn't mind actually cleaning it. And once a week when they're needing cleaned, I didn't actually mind doing it, because the benefits far outweigh the negatives. And the only negative I can see is that if you let them get really, really dirty, well then you're going to reduce your light output, but I'll just make sure that that doesn't happen. So overall, it's turned out well, and another wee problem solved. So that's pretty much it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bye.